Hi, I'm Caroline Francis, Director of UK Alumni Career Services, and today I'm joined by Dominique Wright. Welcome, Dominique. Great to have you with us today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little about your career path since you graduated from UK.
Well, it feels like it was just yesterday, but it's been about 12 years now. I left University of Kentucky and I went to grad school in Atlanta. Then I came back here after finishing my master's degree in mechanical engineering and started working for Lexmark International. There, I was part of the rotation program, which is about a 2-year program for new hires. So I worked in various departments for about 2 years and then landed a full-time position as a mechanical design engineer on our high-end color printer program. So I designed a lot of our seals for our toner cartridges. So I did that for a few years and then took a leap of faith and shifted out of the R&D or the engineering world, as I call it, into supply chain. And in supply chain, I did a job called supplier relationship management. And so there I did procurement for various components across the company, inkjet components, security components, some other technology components. So that was a great change. I was able to travel and do some things like that. So that was great. And then about 2 years ago, I took another leap of faith and stepped out of the individual contributor role and became a manager in our operations department. And that was a great step. I had the service parts engineering team there. So I had some worldwide responsibility there. And then literally in the last 2-3 months, I shifted jobs again back into the engineering world, fully engineering, into our development operations team, where I have a team of engineers that do our computer aided engineering, our thermal engineering, and our test engineering. So I have had a short career, but it's been all over the company, and I've been very fortunate.
Well, obviously, you've worked very hard to get to where you are. What do you know now that you wish you would have known earlier in your career?
That's a really good question. I think two things that come to mind is one, really knowing your priorities is important. And you hear that, as a kid, but you don't really think about it till you get older. But I think when you know your priorities, then you can really set and create boundaries that work for you. And then those boundaries then fold into everything you do. So it really helps you make decisions on whether the next job is right for you, or should you apply for something, or should you take on a certain project. So I wish I knew that earlier, and I wish I knew that it was okay to speak up more. I think as a young professional, especially coming right out of college, sometimes you doubt yourself because you're just thinking, I've just studied in these books, or I might have done some research, but now this is the real world. So I think just telling myself, if I could tell my younger self, I would say, speak up more and not be afraid to do that, because you know what you know and you know it well. So you just have to kind of walk in that confidence.
Good advice. How are you using your degree?
So I think now it's probably the second job out of my whole full-time career that I've really used my degree, because the whole team I manage are all mechanical engineers. So we speak the same technical jargon. We're able to communicate that way. But I think on a bigger scale, I use engineering, which I think all engineers across the board would feel the same way. You learn to problem solve. And so not only are you able to use a degree directly, but I'm able to use it in conversations. I'm able to tackle things that I experience as a manager, and stuff like that. I think is invaluable, because you come across all types of problems during a work day, or you might have a big company-wide thing that you're being pulled into, and so that natural problem-solving ability that engineers have, I think, has helped me in my career, and I hope it will help me going forward.
Have you had any career defining moments that you're willing to share?
Um, that's a hard question, because I don't know if I've had like a momentous moment, but I think I had a lot of small moments that I took for granted along the way that now I realize were impactful. I think the stepping out of fully doing engineering into supply chain was a moment for me, because it was really stepping into something that I didn't have a background in. But it taught me a lot, and I was able to then bring back those tools into the engineering world. And I think besides that, probably the first time I received a group patent, which if you asked me as a younger student, I probably would have said, there's no way I'm going to have a patent. I'm not an inventor. But working with other bright engineers and just having that good collaborative environment. I was able to get a few of those. So I'd probably say those are my career defining moments.
Awesome to have that on your resume.
Mhm.
Have you had mentors along the way? And if so, share maybe what you've learned or what that experience has been like.
I am definitely a person who has had a ton of mentors. I tend to pick mentors based on whichever focus area I need at that time, because some people are just good at certain things. But most of my mentors have said the similar thing of making sure you find someone who can speak on your behalf, because not all mentors can do that. Not all mentors can be a sponsor and really put your name in circles where you're not currently visible. So I think that was a good piece of advice, and also a lot of them really helped me just open my mind. I think coming out of school, I tended to look for people who looked like me or had similar views. And I had some mentors who were probably complete opposites of me. And they really helped me realize that you can, glean something from everyone you talk to. So I've been really fortunate to have some good mentors.
Excellent, excellent. What career advice would you give to our current UK students and also other alums?
I would say for students, Um, if you are like me, I'm a planner. I'm very organized. I like to know what my next step is, kind of lay it out. So I think it's okay to do that because it kind of helps you be strategic in your career moves, your career choice. But the biggest piece of advice that would go along with that would be really to just accept what happens, be flexible. Because sometimes I think you may see something that looks shiny, and when you get into that role or get into that project, it's not what you thought it was. So just be open-minded, because some things that may not look the most enticing tend to be some of your best times and best lessons learned.
Good advice. Lastly, we'd love for you to share with us a favorite UK memory.
I would say my favorite UK memory was probably playing club basketball. I grew up playing basketball and decided not to do the full college team route just for time, and I was kind of burned out from high school. But club basketball was probably the best thing I could do because it was my space of just releasing like a whole different world, not worrying about studying. And it's really funny because one of my teammates I met freshman year while playing club basketball is actually one of my best friends to this day, and we actually both work together at Lexmark. So I think that's probably one of my best memories, along with just talking to mentors. I have two mentors that changed my life, I would say, Dr. Janae Parker and Dr. Tanya Phillips. And both of those women were women who pulled me aside, took time out of their day, and would just sit and talk with me, would let me ask any question. No question was too stupid. And they really just poured into me. And I think had it not been for the basketball and having people like them around, I probably would have given up a few times because engineering was hard, college is hard. And so just having people in your circle who believe in you and tell you you can do it, I think not only just push you, but also just make everything more enjoyable.
Thank you, Dominique, so much for sharing with us your story, and we wish you much success in the future. Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.